It's college football week number 2. Welcome. I am Ralph Michaels. This is your TNA report, and you know that stands for Trends and Angles. We have 3 situations we're going to break down on these videos. And remember, I post each and every one of these charts on my Twitter by Thursday morning. Check out @CalSportsLV. Get those charts and revisit here and watch this video again. If you want to take a look at the charts while you're listening to the information, it helps me quite a bit. Hopefully it does as well. Well, week 1, actually week 0 and 1, unders are currently 57% on the season, and road teams are 62% ATS going in to this week number 2 of college football. System number 1, let's look at teams off an upset loss in a season opener. You were the favorite in week 1, you lost. Do you expect those teams to bounce back? Well, guess what? Since 2014, teams off an upset loss have only gone 44.9% in game number 2. It does make a difference, though, if you were off a loss as a home favorite or off a loss as a away favorite. Maybe not the way you think, though. Teams that are off a loss as a home favorite are actually only 44.2% in game number 2. If you were off a loss as a home favorite in game 1 and now you're back at home game 2, like Clemson and ULL, this surprises me. 34.3% against the spread for those teams that lost outright as a favorite in game 1 and are at home game 2. If you lost as a home favorite and now you're on the road, like Army, Middle Tennessee, Baylor, and San Jose State, you have gone 55% in game number 2 against the spread. Teams off an upset loss on the road. Those teams have bounced back to the tune of 56.1%. But those teams that lost as an away favorite in the season opener are now having their home opener. They've gone 61.1% since 2014. That includes Notre Dame, Alabama, and Boise. If you are off a loss as an away favorite in the season opener, now back on the road for a second straight week, it's only happened 5 times the last 11 years. They've gone 1-4, 20%. It applies to Georgia Southern, but again, with a 5-game sample size, you can't really put that into your handicapping mix and say it is a legitimate edge to fade Georgia Southern. I do want to mention that teams off a loss as an away favorite are actually 38.5% over-under in game number 2. Situation number 2. Well, you know what we're going to do. If we looked at teams off a loss as a favorite, now we're going to take a look at teams off an upset win. Well, those teams that pulled the upset in their season opener are 53.3% game number 2, just above the Mendoza line. But there is a clear split between those teams off a home upset win and those teams off a road upset win. Teams off a win as a home dog, like Miami of Florida and Florida State, are 45% against the spread in game number 2. It doesn't matter if you're home or if you're away. It's basically all the same percentage. Again, Miami of Florida, and Florida State are at home off an upset win. South Florida's on the road. But one thing I do want to point out, quite a divide in the totals. Teams who won at home as a home dog and are now back at home, 4-13 over-under. That's 23.5% to the over. That is 76.5% to the under. Again, Miami of Florida and Florida State. Teams off a win as a home dog and now on the road, like USF at Florida, 18-4 over-under, 82% to the over. We'll keep an eye on those numbers and see what happens this week. And finally, what happens to teams that went on the road and pulled an upset as a road underdog? They are 55.6% in game number 2. But if they pulled that road upset and now they're back at home for their season opener with positive thoughts, off an upset win, they have gone 61.9%. And listen to this. If you're off an upset loss and you're a significantly better team, so you're a favorite of 9 or more, you have gone 72% against the spread. So the 62% angle applies to Rice playing Houston, and the 72% angle as a big favorite at home off an upset road win, Auburn and LSU. And finally, if you're off a win as an away dog and you're now on the road again, like Austin Peay against Georgia and Central Michigan against Pittsburgh, they're 8-12, 40% ATS, but again, a smaller sample size with 20 games, but we'll keep an eye on those situations and see what happens. Guys, before I get to number 3, which is looking at college football totals, teams that both went over in game 1 and both went under in game 1, before I get to that, do us a favor, hit the like button. If you learned one thing in this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and make sure you're following the Wager Talk on all their social media networks. Find out why over 300,000 people follow Wager Talk amongst all of their networks. I also have a special for you last year, number 2 in college football. My big plays, those 4 and 5% in NFL and college football, 18-3, 91%. A normal 30-day package at Wager Talk, $299. With the code 199RALPH, that's 199 RALPH, knock $100 off, get 4 weeks of NFL, 4 weeks of college, 4 weeks of my NLB Nerfy plays, all for $199, under $50 per week. Well, what happens in game number 2 when both teams went over the total? It's pretty simple, guys. That's it. Game number 1, each team went over the total. Game number 2, guess what? Overs have only gone 37.2%. That is 62.8% to the under if both teams went over in game number 1. Well, what happens if both teams went under in game number 1? Well, the overall record is 53-54, 49.5%. Not exciting at all, right? But wait, don't stop there, guys. If you're looking at the database, you got to make sure you never leave a stone unturned and you dig deeper. Not only did these numbers shock me, it is such a clean divide that it's almost mind-boggling. If both teams went under in game number 1, and they now have a total of 52 or less, those teams have gone 37-23, 62% to the over. So maybe not what you expect. Both teams under in game 1, and it's a lower total. Again, 62% to the over. If both teams went under in game 1, and now we have a total of 52.5 or higher, those teams have gone 16-31, 34% over under, or 66% to the under. Pretty simple. Low totals of 52 or less have been overs. Totals higher than that of 52.5 or higher have been unders. Pretty simple to make that division and start writing some check marks next to some plays that you may like. Guys, I put a one-page college football schedule on my homepage weekly at Wager Talk, wt.buzz/RM. So if you ever want a printable one-page schedule to write down notes, make your circles, put your check marks on, check out my homepage and download that. And don't forget, 30 days for under $50 a week, the code 199RALPH. Hit that like button on your way out. Follow us on Wager Talk social media, and leave a comment if there's any situations for TNA that you want run in the NFL or college football. I'll be back. college football week number 3. Enjoy this weekend.